This is the Carty Method Podcast.
Well, hello. Welcome to another episode of the Carty Method Podcast. It is Black History Month. Happy Black History Month, people. Welcome. Today, we are doing Portfolio Lab. I do this 2 days a week, Tuesday, Thursday. We talk Portfolio Lab, and Portfolio Lab is how I help you with your portfolio get to the next level. And also, we have an assignment, because it's Assignment Thursdays. Assignment Thursdays, we actually look at the work that you guys have done for this week's assignment. And this week's assignment was pretty simple. The goal was for you to break barriers. Breaking barriers was this week's assignment. The goal was for you to create an image that shows how you've broken barriers in your photography. I want you to photograph something outside your comfort zone. Push your boundaries to show that you've unlocked something, like you've broken a barrier in your photography. So what I'm hoping for you to do is photograph something outside your comfort zone, push your boundaries to unlock a new skill, a new technique, or a new stylistic choice, and to break the boundaries of your environment, your skill set, or your mental blocks. This was the week that you were to discover something new about yourself. So if you're a people photographer, I wanted you to experiment with a new style of lighting or do something literally that you've never done before. Photograph a subject from a different angle. If you shoot places, I wanted you to be bold with your composition, experiment with an unusual angle or perspective. And if you shoot things, I want you to photograph something you don't usually experiment with. Use an advanced lighting style that's intimidated you in the past. Tell me what barriers you're breaking. And this was a horizontal assignment. I wanted to see photos that were horizontal. That's the goal, horizontal photography. In order for me to see, I need to see what you're doing. All right, horizontal. So starting with Ian Martin. Ian Martin says he's breaking into new environments and trying something urban. I think the next step is something downtown. This is shot with the Fuji X-T5 at a 27mm focal length, 1.2, ISO 125, a 60th of a second at f8. This is with a Godox 8600 strobe. This is Ian Martin. Ian, thanks for submitting, Ian. Let's see what you got here for me, buddy. Okay, off the top, the diagonal is throwing me. I love the urban environment. Like, I really do love the urban environment. I think the urban environment is amazing. But the horizon line, for me, is not working. Like, you didn't do it just a little bit. You did it literally at 45 degree. This is a 45 degree horizon line where you're literally going corner to corner with your composition. So for me, the theme of next week is intelligent imitation. So what I'm asking you is, where do you see this image or this idea with a very skewed horizon line in car photography, in natural real world applications? Where have you seen it? So because I know it doesn't exist. There's not really a lot of, it may exist. There might be some car photography that's done like this, but I want you to find me the examples so I can see what your reference points are. If this is something that just you thought was cool, I feel like the shot would have been equally as cool if it was shot without the angles. I want you to look at how this looks as a double page spread, and you can see as a double page spread, horizontal, the framing is really actually not working when you look at this as 2 pages in a magazine, Ian. So, and it doesn't matter what crop I decide to do, this doesn't make sense in a magazine as far as the 45 degree angle. So for me, it's an amazing photograph, Ian. Like, gorgeous, well shot, super sharp, but you jumped the shark when you went at the 45 degree angle, my friend. Like, and in fact, I hope that you shot this other ways. So you do have this car shot with like a proper stance. I would definitely have pulled these plushies in here because you can see how they're being flattened by the windshield. That's really my only complaint, Ian, is the verticality, the horizontality of yeah, it's just the angle, Ian. For me, this is where you missed. I would love to see this picture just straight up. And again, where you also missed is your horizontal composition. I want you to see this as a double page spread. If you go into your library in the Carty method and you'll see valuable resources, inside valuable resources, I've provided this overlay. So you can, in Lightroom, Capture One, or Photoshop, put this on a layer and see what it looks like as a double page spread. Like, you literally need to see that. Even look at what it looks like with my vertical, because I put that frame there as well. I hope this helps you, Ian. Thanks for submitting. Great shot. I just, you jumped the shark on the angle for me. That is Ian Martin, everybody. Next up is Torrance Davis. Torrance says, I'm a people photographer, but once in a while I shoot animals or things. This is totally under the box for me. I bought a Sekonic light meter because Professor Carty's been pounding that into our skulls for weeks. I decided it was a great opportunity to use it. After thinking about the ideas all day, I settled on my lens arsenal. Fuji X-T3 23mm f2, ISO 1600. ISO 1600, f5 at a 15th of a second. Okay, let's look at what Torrance Davis has for us. Torrance, thanks for submitting. Okay, I'm going to tell you a secret. First of all, thanks for submitting. First of all, when you're on a tripod shooting this and you're not using studio light, which is a flash, you know that you can shoot at 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 5 second, 10 seconds, 30 seconds. You do not have to do ISO 1600 and shoot this like you're shooting a person in flight or running. It's a still life. You're a portrait shooter. So you're doing portrait shooter things, shooting your lenses. So shoot at a slower shutter speed so it allows the scene to fill up and it allows some shadow detail to fill in on the lens. Because you shot it at such a quick shutter speed, you have no depth to your photo because the light doesn't have a chance to go. Do you remember last week, one of my shooters, Doyle Daniels, shot a portrait at a third of a second in order for that room to light up? You're doing the same thing here. And again, doing something outside your comfort zone, that doesn't necessarily mean doing something outside your niche. Like this is where we're like, you're jumping the shark. It's like doing something outside your niche is not what I was asking for. When you shoot something outside your niche, then you're starting from zero because you're trying to be a people photographer. Shooting something outside your niche is, or breaking barriers, the assignment is breaking barriers, not shoot something that you don't shoot. I'm a people photographer, so to break barriers, I'm going to shoot horses. It's like, no, that's not what I'm asking. If you're a people photographer, shoot a person in a way that you've never done before. Shoot a person on location if you shoot in studio. Shoot a person in studio if you shoot on location. Shoot a male if you always shoot females. Like, use a light technique with a person that you've never used before, but you showing something that's not even it's not even what you're trying to shoot. You're not shooting products. So what you're doing is going right back to zero. You're going right back to your first day with the camera shooting products because you don't shoot products, you shoot people. So it's a good shot. But again, it's missing the boat because you're not thinking about, like, how can I get better at what I'm trying to shoot by doing something that will break a barrier, like within what I'm trying to shoot, not I shoot people, let me shoot product. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? Okay, so again, technically good picture, but again, you missed the boat of the assignment. Yeah, that's my 2 cents. I hope that you understand what I'm saying here. The idea was not, I do this, so I'm going to break barriers, and now I'm going to do this. It's like, no, I'm a race car driver. So what would you be doing to break barriers? Oh, I'm going to do a race in a car type that I don't usually drive. But guess what? You're still in the same race. See what I'm saying? You decided to now start a different race, product photography, which is not what we're trying to do. And again, those other two things that you said in the thing, like I'm a people photographer, but I dabble over here, and stop dabbling. Stop dabbling, because it's hurting your people photography, because you're not spending enough time doing the thing that will pay money. Or stop shooting people and start only shooting product, so you can get good enough at product photography that people would pay you money. But you don't get to do both. You don't get to do both so early in your career. By doing both, you are stunting your growth at both, and inevitably you're going to frustrate yourself with photography and probably likely quit. So one lane, stay in one lane, do a different thing in that same lane. I hope that helps you. All right, we're missing the boat here, people. That was Torrance Davis. We are going into Robert Myrick. Hello again, Carty. Breaking barriers ended up being an assignment that truly intimidated me. I worked on this shoot for 3 days, right up to the wire, 9 p.m. The barrier that I broke was lighting on so many levels, and it would take an essay to explain it all. The basic point is that I've always worked with brightly lit studios with strobes and color backgrounds for things like headshots, and this shoot required me to work and think about the light around me. Thanks for all you do. Shot with the A7R5 with a 50mm, ISO 100 f16 at 250th a second, one Godox strobe in a strip box, one Godox speed light with the gel. This is Robert Myrick. Robert, thanks for submitting, Robert. This is a dope flick. You got something going on here, but the lighting is wrong. You are very concerned about lighting his back, not very concerned about lighting this top of his hat, his hands. So the only thing that you have is this LED light here that's pushing light up here, but you're losing the whole other entire room. So there is detail here if you light it. There is detail along this hat if you light it. There is detail along these fingers if you light it. So the idea is where you placed this light, you also need a light up here placed to give you this separation as well at this exposure. So we separate it. Right now, he's like, because this is your main source and you also chose to put him on the blackest of backgrounds, there's no depth, there's no context. It's just, so in order to give us depth, you need to shape this light more, and it's begging for something to be coming in this way. And it's begging for a reflector possibly to be down here, bouncing this light back to hit these fingers. You follow me? So it's close, but it's not quite there. Your exposure, I'm going to give you props. Your exposure here is very spot on, but the color balance is warm. And you can see because this Cohiba label is yellow and it's actually white. It's supposed to be white. So the skin tone here is yellow. So, and there's not anything here that's neutral for you to color balance off of except for the color of that label. Trust me, if you touch that label, you're going to see the whole picture go to a different color. Now also, what was the color balance? What was the white balance of this? The light here. What was the white balance? Was it set at 5,000 neutral for daylight, or was it set at 3,000, which is tungsten? Like, what you set the white balance for this LED is very determined, because you can see the white balance of here, this is yellow. The white balance of here, this is neutral. So you have two different color balances in the same picture. You see? So it just takes you out of the photo because, but again, if this is supposed to be him lighting this and his face is lit by, like, that's supposed to be him flicking a Zippo and lighting his cigar, there needs to be smoke, there needs to be flame, and like it, to me, it looks like he's holding his phone, because there's no smoke or flame. And if there was smoke or flame and you had this light here and this reflector here, then the smoke would actually be backlit and look like, and add like such another dimension to this picture. That is my 2 cents, Robert. I would say try this one again. I would shoot this one again. I think that would make a huge difference for you if you shot this again. That is Robert Myrick. Robert, thanks for submitting. All right, let's see who's next. Romeo Fowler. Romeo says, hello, fellow creators. Here's my submission for the assignment. Romeo, the goal was for you to tell me what barriers you're breaking. Tell me what barriers you're breaking in the photo so I know. Fuji X-T3 50mm 1.4 5.6 ISO 400 at a fifth of a second. This is Romeo Fowler. Romeo, thanks for submitting. So you're blending motion and a still. I definitely see what you're doing here. Let's look at this as a double page spread. You can see you're very close to this side of the frame. Too close. The body language with the hands in the pockets is pushing this side down too much, and when you're shooting on a profile, it's not too flattering. I would again have her rotate a little bit to camera, so she's like, so you see it's not like puffing this out so much. Hands out of the pockets would be a little bit better. Personally, I would just try to take that jacket off in a situation like this, because the jacket, it looks too much like you're just walking around the way and you saw something and took a picture. Like, it's photographic, but it still is blending this line between snapshot and photograph. I'm trying to figure out what the purpose of this photo is. Like, who would hire you to make this photo is what you always have to ask yourself when you're making or coming up with ideas like this. This is a scenario, Romeo, where you were in a location, you took a picture, you waited for the train to go by, which made you making a picture. You're blending slow shutter speed and natural light, or possibly flash. I'm not sure if you used flash. I see flash maybe in the eyes, but you're not talking about it. I need to know what the mindset behind the photo is. I need you to talk about what the idea behind the photo was and what barriers you're breaking here. Because for me, just from what you're giving me, I don't know if this is an ad, if this is an editorial picture, if this is a story about her, is this a story about travel? Like, who's paying you to make this photo? That's the question that I'm wanting to know. So, and again, you have to ask yourself, anytime you point your camera at something, who would hire me to shoot this? And I'm wanting to know what barriers you're breaking. Please answer those questions for me, Romeo. That was Romeo Fowler. Romeo. Denise Tuggle. Denise says, hey, Carty and crew, breaking barriers in your niche. This week was a step outside my comfort zone. Took your advice and went to Behance and looked at the work of other pros in my niche, and yes, it is intimidating. I worked inside and tried studio lighting. I tried a new lighting technique with a speed light and one main light for backlighting. Please learn how to light with real lights and throw your speed light out the nearest window. Please try to learn how to light with real lights. A speed light is not a light. It is something that people who don't know use to make scenes brighter. It is not lighting. It is one of those. Don't use those. Nikon D850 with a 50mm lens, 58mm macro lens, ISO 100, 1.6 and 1.6 seconds at f16. So let's look at Denise Tuggle. Denise, this is lovely. This is lovely. Again, the way you described your light, I would prefer you just not even say anything. But you do need to know how to light with real light and not speed lights. This is a horizontal assignment, so you gave me a horizontal picture, but you can see compositionally, you didn't compose this as if it was a horizontal. You can see, like, I'm not really sure how this works as a horizontal, although you can see, yes, I could put my article here and kind of work around this flower, but the way that this flower is going to get cut when it goes into the gutter, it's really gonna, like, this isn't gonna align properly. But your quality is going up, so I'm definitely rating you for this. I just want you to understand the framing aspect of it. This is a horizontal picture, but it has to have a use, like, meaning where would this go? Is it a billboard? Is it a magazine? And if it's a billboard, what is it selling? What is it selling? It's just a still life of a flower, but who is going to hire you to shoot this photo, Denise? Again, you went outside your comfort zone, you shot a thing, but why not learn how to light a product? And again, you're a people photographer, so why not? I still think you're trying to figure out what niche it is that you're in, because I've seen portraits, I've seen self-portraits, I've seen still lifes. Like, I need to know what it is that you think that you're trying to shoot. Yeah, Timothy. Timothy says, I didn't know that about speedlights. Here, let me tell you two secrets. Do speedlights take batteries? Do speedlights take batteries? Yes. When you fire at full power, does it take time for that speedlight to come back up to full power? Yes. Well, why is that? Because they run on batteries. Studio lights, you plug into the wall. Here's another thing. Those speedlights are designed to go where? On top of your camera, right? Is on top of your camera the smartest place to place light as a professional photographer? Probably not. In fact, I don't think that I've put a speedlight on top of a camera for 30 years because I am a photographer. I'm not I don't shoot weddings, okay? So, speedlights makes rooms brighter, okay? That's what speedlights do. Studio lights light. They're for you put a modifier on a studio, like softbox. Like, the studio lights are made for all the various modifiers that photographers need, like softboxes, umbrellas, strip boxes, grids, like reflectors, beauty dishes. All of that stuff fits on. Now, speedlight, does any of that stuff fit on a speedlight? No, but you can get an adapter. Do you see? But the whole point is that I can set my light meter at f8 with my strobe plugged into the wall and shoot f8, 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 f8 all fucking day long, Timothy. You, with your speed light, go like this, f8. And then if you shoot again, you're getting f2.8. And if you shoot again, you're getting f1.8. So you can no longer shoot quick. So this is you shooting picture and then waiting for your flash to decide that it's okay for you to take a picture again. Like, you're enslaved by your strobe units. Here's the next thing. Canon 600 EX, like portable speed light, costs $600. Okay? You could buy 3 studio strobes from Amazon for $600. 3. Or 2 with all the modifiers. Like, next thing, if you want your speed light off camera, you have to buy this Canon trigger to fire that thing off camera, which costs $500. Like, do you understand? They got you by the balls because they sold you. You don't know, like, I get so fucking frustrated every time I hear the word speed light. It's like, take the speed light and just throw it against the wall. Like, let it smash into a million pieces so you don't have one. Like, seriously. Or give it to a wedding photographer. Or give it to somebody who doesn't know. Or sell it to somebody who doesn't know. I'm so tired of speedlights. Seriously. Like, go on Amazon for $169 and buy a light. All right. Denise, you are in the beginning of learning how to light. You are in the beginnings of learning how to light. The only way you are going to be able to finish that journey of learning how to light is exactly what you're doing, which is going on Behance and seeing what photographers do. I promise you, you're not going to see speed lights on Behance. You're not going to see speed. Do you think this guy used speed lights to light this? You think that's speed lights? Like this is the whole point. Like Behance shows you the best of the best. This is why no one wants to look there, because it's so beyond what you're doing. It's intimidating. But you have to look at photographers that make you want to quit. If you're not looking at photographers that make you want to quit, what are you doing? You're just mailing it in. This is way too grainy, but I like the vibe. Gotta look at Behance. It's way different. All right. Denise, I hope that helps you. Understand that Behance, like, just look at what your competition is doing. Look at what your competition is doing. Do you think this is speed lights, Timothy? You think this is lit with speed lights, dude? Come on. Do you think that clients have the time to wait for your fucking speed lights to recharge? Just like, oh, it'll just be a second. Oh, just let me change the batteries again for the 7th time on a 2-hour shoot. Like, it's preposterous, man. If you own speed lights, a sales guy got you. They make a lot of money on speed lights. A lot of commission if you guys buy speed lights. Denise Tuggle, be very wary of your framing and keep pushing with the lights. Sell your speed light and buy 3 strobes, please. Let's see if I'm having a heart attack still. Francis Jeffrey. Francis says, this is a studio photo taken last night with the barriers broken because I hadn't used a reflector at all since being a photography student in college. This is of a brown muffin on a brown coffee table with a brown napkin to make a party atmosphere and brown curtains. I made hot colors to represent the idea of this being warm and cooked by waving a slinky in front of the camera. Canon Rebel T5 with an 18-400. That lens is garbage. Please throw that lens away. 18-400. 18-400. I'm 10 lenses in one. All of them bad, by the way. ISO 100, f16 at f6th of a second. Please throw that lens away and buy a 50. I used 2 different monolights, a diffuse speed light mounted to the camera on a golden reflector and on a tripod. All right, let's look at Francis Jeffrey. Francis, thanks for submitting. So, Francis, what we have here is a very flat picture. There's no contrast, and it's center focused horizontal. You can see this is center focused horizontal. It's not really lit, so it has this feeling of light coming from everywhere, which gives the feeling of light coming from nowhere. Using a 400 millimeter gives you compression and shallow depth of field, but you'll also notice that with food photography, there's not a lot of compression and there's not a lot of shallow depth of field. What you need, my friend, is references. So if you want to shoot a muffin, or if that's what you're choosing your subject matter to be, you search muffin on the internet, a muffin photography, and see what muffins look like on the internet. Look at this one. Look at this one. It's a cereal box ad. That's an application for a muffin. Look at this one. Oops, it's down here. Here. So this, darker background, a point of light, naturally lit, shallow depth of field, but it definitely zooms your eye right into the goody juicy inside of the muffin, shot on a cutting board. It's a blueberry muffin, so there's blueberries around. There's a blueberry colored, I guess, dishcloth back there, a fork, like styled, like the scene is styled. Straight up muffin, shot on a white background, super clean. Oops, I just took myself out of that into Adobe Stock. I mean, you can see stock photography of what muffins look like. So if you're endeavoring to shoot anything, you have to look to see what other people who've shot what you're trying to shoot, what it looks like. So again, I know you're new to photography, but without references, you are literally pissing in the wind. Without references. If you wanted to build a car, you would look at another car you'd look at another car to be like, okay, 4 wheels, windshield, steering wheel, 4 seats. Like, you look at another car to build your car. But photographers want to make a photo, but they don't of a thing, but they don't look at another photographer who has successfully made a photo of that thing that's working to see what they did, to just see where the bar is. If you're not doing that, then you're actually creating things that you think are okay. And sadly, it's like you're never going to photograph something on like a paper napkin. It just doesn't look elegant. It doesn't look elegant. It doesn't look like elevated. It doesn't look elevated. And the whole point about shooting food is to elevate it. That's what we're trying to do. That's why they hire a photographer to do so. So, question, did you elevate this muffin with your photography? If the question is no, if the answer is no, then what are you doing to elevate it? And again, well, I don't know how to elevate it. That's where the references come in. Because again, you're making photographs with no blueprint. Go find someone else who's done it successfully. Find several. You'll see their blueprints, and then that will give you an idea. Oh, I need to light. Oh, I need to cut it open. Oh, I need to put it on a different surface. Oh, I need to not do brown on brown on brown on brown, because even you describing that to me, I was like, oh no, please don't tell me this is going to be brown on brown on brown on brown. So all of those reasons, man, it's all about references, my friend. Look at references. It'll change your life. It'll change your life, Francis, honestly. Your lights, you need a light meter. And if you're using 2 monolights or a diffuse speed light, like you're telling me there's 3 lights on this picture. 3 lights. 3. I can't identify a single light source. I can't identify one because everything is at the same ratio. So in that situation, it's about learning about literally references first. You look at the references, and that means the backlight is brighter because it's making a highlight. The front light is lower because it's not making a highlight. And then so you actually have to break down the light. If you're just doing light, which what you think is going to look good, you're going to spend so much time doing things that aren't working because you don't have a reference point. It's like you're going to a destination without a map. You're going to a destination without knowing what the target is. And it's impossible to reach the target if you don't know what the target is. It's impossible to meet it. And that's why you missed it on this one. I hope that helps you. Use references is the moral of the story. The moral of the story, references, 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 references. And I'm not saying copy. I'm not saying steal. I'm not saying take other people's ideas, but you need to see what ideas work so your ideas are way closer to working. If you don't look at what ideas work and what ideas work, then guaranteed the odds of your idea working is so slim. It's so slim, which greatens the distance for you from where you are right now to be making money with your camera. It just increases the distance because you're not looking at blueprints. I hope that helps you. This is Monica P. Monica says, I wanted to try fashion lighting with an animal using a Rembrandt light and a gelled light to accent the shadows and color. Harder than I anticipated with a cat. Again, lighting a cat like this, cats don't just sit. They don't just sit. Even dogs don't just sit. So trying to do what you're trying to do with an animal as your subject is really, you're setting yourself up. R6 Mark II 50 millimeter ISO 200 of a second f8. Shot with 2 lights. This is Monica P. Monica, I mean, you can see from what you were trying to do to what you actually executed ended up just being a shot of your kitty. It's on a non-distracting background, okay, and there's just a little bit of blue light in there, but you understand, like, I think based on your description, I have an understanding of what you're trying to do, but I want you to see what this looks like composed over 2 pages. And I want to ask you, are you a pet photographer? Are you a pet photographer, Monica P? Are you a pet photographer? Is that what you are? I've seen a lot of your photographs. Pets are not something that I see as your photographs and not something that I see as your subject matter. So again, you're a people photographer, and I'm trying to make you a better and better and better people photographer. So rather than finding a person to shoot for this, you went off to the left and shot your kitty, which again is okay, but how is this adding to your portfolio? How is this picture adding to your portfolio? Is this picture going into your portfolio? I would think probably not, because you don't have any pictures of cats. Because who's paying you to take pictures of cats? Who? Like, literally, who is paying you to take pictures of cats? There's no cat photographers, because cats are impossible. They're impossible. They're elusive. Like, people have paid dog photographers. Are there pictures of cats? Yeah, sure, maybe a few, but again, it's just breaking barriers does not mean jumping the shark. Breaking barriers does not mean jumping lanes and doing something that you have no experience with also a subject that's not a willing participant. For me, that's just setting yourself up for a disaster. It is a competent picture, Monica, but that's not what I expect from you. I don't expect competent pictures. I expect photographs that are going to go into your portfolio and help you get work. That's what I expect. Anytime that you're opening up your camera bag and pulling out your camera, you're making photographs that will inevitably get work. That's just the end of the story. That's what they should be doing. And if you don't shoot cats and you're taking pictures of your cat, then this is for you. And it's definitely not for a portfolio review. Because and breaking barriers, you're calling not really having an idea for the breaking of barriers and then shooting your kitty as it's like, you got to just try harder, man. And I'm telling you, this whole business, it moves 1,000 miles an hour, and you have to be used to the pace. You have to be thinking ahead. You have to be if you're a people photographer, be on Instagram, constantly looking for new subjects to photograph, because you'll run out of subjects. You absolutely will. Doesn't work, Blue Cat. All right, let's get into our next one. Oh, by the way, guys, on Thursdays I do an after party. Sometimes people want to talk to me. I don't know why people would want to talk to me, but sometimes people want to talk to me. They want to ask me questions about the industry. This week we're going to be talking about literally intelligent imitation, because intelligent imitation is our next assignment. Intelligent imitation is the assignment that you guys are working on right now. It's due on Wednesday. And the idea is for you to literally find a photo that you believe that you can articulate. I want you to show me a link to the photo, and then I want you to imitate it. Not exactly, not copy it, but I want your version of that photograph. That means niched, hyper-specific. Again, if you're a portrait photographer, find a portrait that you're going to imitate with a similar subject. Don't jump the shark again next week, guys. I'm frustrated from today. All right, this is Lamont DeSalle. So the after party, again, reminder, after party happens every Thursday after the show, about 15 minutes after the show. If you are in my mentorship community, which is now has been smashed into my YouTube submission community, which is now called Portfolio Lab. If you are in Portfolio Lab and have access to my community, you will see meetups. I do meetups every Thursday. You'll see the Zoom link, and we hang out in Zoom, and we're going to be talking about intelligent imitation and the type of photographers that you're looking at, and also happy to talk about breaking barriers and anything that you guys were thinking about doing this week. Maybe you got to or didn't get to, maybe didn't submit or submitted and got a bad review. This is Lamont DeSalle. So Lamont says, yes, calligraphy. I used a white bounce diffusion and a Godox Pro. Liza, I did not know it was Liza's birthday. How could I possibly? Liza, I did not know it was your birthday. Happy birthday, Liza. I'm in the middle of presenting a show here. No, I'm going to stop, though, to say happy birthday to Liza. Happy birthday, Liza. Calligraphy. You're very welcome. I hope you're happy for him derailing my whole show. Just to say happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Liza. All right. Lamont de Sal. Hello, Carty. Here is my submission for the week. I struggled to get this right. I use white bounce on a blah, 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 blah. As always, I appreciate your feedback. This was me breaking a barrier as I currently do not shoot products at the level that I would like. Nikon Z6 50mm 1.8, ISO 100, ISO 400, 6.3 at 1/60th of a second. This is Lamont de Sal. Lamont, this is the reason that you don't shoot products at the level that you would like, because you're a portrait photographer. You're a portrait photographer. Again, you shouldn't have to shoot products at this level because this isn't what you're trying to do. For me, like, you're a people shooter. So the goal is for you to figure out a way to get this Keelan wine with a model or with a subject or as a lifestyle. Like, you don't get to go straight from people to products. You don't get to make that bridge. You don't get to make that bridge without a thing. So you go people on figure, meaning a person with a product. And then that's now a reason for you to have people and products in your portfolio, because you do on figure, which is a girl holding a glass, a girl pouring wine, like something like that. It makes sense when it's actually like, but you're going from people to products, and that gap it's such a gap that, I mean, like, this is a horizontal image, and look how you composed it. Like, it's dropped quite on the gutter, as you can see. Like, this is your whole image and me dropping my overlay over top of it. And why so? Well, because you have no experience shooting products, Lamont. This isn't what you do. You shoot people. So you, again, using this, I'm going outside my comfort zone, you're changing lanes and jumping the shark and trying to shoot something that you don't shoot. And now you have one example of this. So what? Now you're going to stop shooting people and spend all your time learning how to get to the level of a commercial product and abandon all the training that you've done with shooting fashion? Is that what you're going to do? You know what I mean? So it's like... So, again, this is not breaking barriers. What's breaking barriers, Lamont, is you always shoot in studio. Shoot on location. Shoot a model on location. You always shoot with a studio background. Shoot inside with an environmental background, like a scene, because you're always on no seam, person on no seam. So show that you can shoot on location. If it's cold where you are, like, shoot a person not on a set. Like, you can see there's all kinds of different ways that you can show people photography. There's a girl in a barbershop. You know what I mean? Like, where's that type of photography in your portfolio? All your stuff is like this in studio, super clean. But you can see I show not just that. I mix studio with location. Like that's breaking barriers. So you're not put into one corner where you only can shoot one type of work. For me, I show that I can shoot all different types of work. So, yeah, it's important. That is my suggestion. My suggestion is not trying to do something that's so divergent, because there's so many like small lighting things, and like I could go through here and like now talk to you like you're trying to be a product photographer and go through all the mistakes that you're making here, and it's like, it's just, you're not breaking barriers here. You're trying to now start the beginning in a new niche because you want to have this skill the same as this skill. That's what you're saying. How does that help you? And now you're splitting your time between two completely divergent types of photography: product photography and people photography. Two different types. One, you're interacting and directing. The next, it's all just you on your own, placing articulately and cleaning bottles and using, like, they're two totally different types of photographer. So which one are you trying to be? That's my question. And again, I'm thinking that you're trying to be a fashion photographer, Here's another thing. You only shoot models. Here's breaking barriers. Shoot a portrait. Like, anyways, Lamont, again, are you really trying to be a product photographer? Or should you be adding portraits to your already people lane? Which one makes more sense? Start shooting musicians, rappers, as well as your fashion in a fashionable, stylish way. You see how that kind of, all right, that is Lamont de Sal. This is Rob Wilson Jr. Hello, all. Good to be back. Submitting again. Trying to create natural sunlight with strobes. That summer holiday vibe. ISO 100, 6.3, 200 of a second. R6, Mark II, 100 millimeter. Robert Wilson Jr. We know him as Alpha Monk. Robert, how come I'm not advancing to my next picture here? Okay, here we go. Rob Wilson Jr. Not sure what was happening there. All right, Rob Wilson, thanks for submitting. Thanks for staying on point with your product photography. I love this. You used artificial light to imitate natural light. Very well executed. Good placement, like really good placement. You can see, other than just this little bit of a shadow here that's going over, still you have really good distance here. You have really good all day long. Yes, 11. Yes. I want you to watch the color balance. It does feel a little warm. I'm not sure if you're adding warmth in after the fact. I wouldn't mind seeing what this looks like neutral, assuming that this is white on the Vogue, that this is white, that this is white, that this down here, the barcode, is all white. You can see the cast. I'm sure you're doing that in post. I don't think you need it. I think it can go more neutral, and I think you can bring in this warmth a different way than using a LUT. Please don't use like these kinds of treatments, because again, it just throws the actual color of all your products off. And clients want to see their products like a true color. Even if it's in a sunny sunset scene, the products still look true color. So don't use presets and LUTs on top of this type of photography. It just takes away from it. I would love to see this again, neutral, without the presets, because I think that this picture is too warm. But this is definitely an 11. Well done. Thanks for submitting, Rob. Alrighty. Let's see. Rinsky van der Hoot. Rinsky says, hey, Carty crew, instead of photographing people, I chose product photography for this week's assignment. Okay. Again, this isn't a look what I can do. This isn't trying to be like, hey, I'm a people photographer, but I can also shoot cars. It's not what this assignment is. It's not like, hey, I'm a people photographer, but I can also shoot wine. It's like, of course you can. You're a photographer. You can shoot anything, but that doesn't help you. It doesn't help your career if you're dancing all around all these different niches just because you can. What does help is look at what your lane is and what you're not doing yet within your lane that other photographers are doing that you could do. That's breaking a barrier. Okay, so Rinsky chose product photography. You're trying to shoot a double page spread, taking account for a magazine and text on the right. The challenge was mainly in the composition, the reflection of the glass, the colors of the glass, and improvising a home studio. Like all of these things, all of these obstacles that you're overcoming in this situation, apply those same things to something that actually is within your niche. That's what you're trying to do. Like apply, So the reason that you're having reflections in the glass issue is because you have no experience shooting that. People who have experience, they know. It's just like they have no experience shooting skin, but you know that. So that's why you don't. Anyways, Nikon D850 85mm 1.2 ISO 100 f8 250th of a second, one Ellen Chrome strip box, and one reflector. This is Rinske. Rinske, thanks for submitting. Competent, but the exposure is off. The black, the Jack Daniel's label is gray instead of black because of exposure. I'm seeing post-production stuff that you're doing here. I'm seeing post-production stuff that you're doing. Oops. Sorry, I'm losing my screens here. That you're doing over here. All in here, I see healing brush mistakes. You can't hide. You can't hide when you're trying to do something at industry level that's not your niche. And again, you could look through someone who is trying to shoot people that doesn't shoot people the same way. So again, it's just, I feel like it's just because this is not what you shoot. It's not what you do normally. I mean, it's a great attempt, but I'll ask you 3 questions. Number 1, will this go in your professional portfolio that you're trying to use to get more work within the industry? Will this go there? Probably not, because you don't have any other examples of it. This is the only one. You understand, if you spend time trying to learn how to shoot this at the level of like someone who is a full-time product photographer, it's going to take you years, right? You've already invested years in shooting people. Would you not want to stay within that lane and just add lifestyle or add like a type of people photography so you could get more work? Yeah, so for me, Rinsky, double page composition, sure, it's clean. It's like cool. But again, it's not, it's like we could take all of these photographs that you guys are making that are outside of your niche and then just make some other fake product photographer and put that website out. And then whoever gets, like, come on, it's not you. This isn't what you do. So it's just like me now shooting weddings. It's like, okay, guess what? Tomorrow I'm a wedding photographer and now I'm going to start talking or how about this? How about this? How about now I start talking about cars on my channel? Why don't I start talking about cars on my channel? It's still me. Like, I like cars. I have a car. It's a new one. It's kind of sexy. Why don't I start talking about cars on my channel? Would that bother you? But you're here for this, right? You're here for, so do you understand? Like, I don't jump niches as far as what I do here. I do one thing incredibly well to benefit you, but you're trying to bring value to the industry, but you're trying to do multiple things well. Nobody gets to do multiple things well. That's why there's specialists. This is why there's brain surgeons and ear, nose, and throat doctors and eye surgeons and heart surgeons. It's like, well, I'm a general surgery guy. It's like, well, I'm going to trust you to operate on my heart. No. I want a heart surgeon, please. Right? So product photography, they're not going to hire you. This is the thing that you need to know. You're not going to get hired to shoot this because you're not a specialist at shooting food and beverage. You're not a specialist. You've done one. So how much time is going to take you to be a specialist at food and beverage before you get food and beverage work? How much time? Now, you are a specialist at this other type of work. Why not put more, double down more into that and expand that lane a little bit wider with lifestyle and people using those products that you're trying to shoot here without the person? Yeah, there is a method to my madness. And again, I'm trying to not appear to be frustrated, but there, like, and again, I try to be clear, but again, I'm so clear on why you need to specialize. And I said in the assignment, if you've never lit with natural light, light natural light. If you always lit light natural light, light with strobe. I didn't say if you shoot people, shoot product. If you shoot product, shoot people. Did not say that because that goes against what I'm teaching here. So every one of you that missed this completely, I'm asking you to really think about what I ask you to do on a week-to-week basis, which is you're trying to bring value to one person at one place on their journey, looking for one transformation, and you're trying to serve them with your photography. How can you do that if one person wants products is not the same person who wants people photography? Those are two different people. Now you're trying to serve two different people because you think if you can serve different people, you'll serve more people. But that is not the case. Watch my last video. All you're doing is diluting. Like, no one's going to trust you to shoot products because you shoot products and people. So not going to trust you to shoot people because you shoot people and products. Like, if I'm hiring somebody to shoot my car, I'm hiring a car photographer, not someone who shoots cars and this and this and this and this, because they're going to be average at all of them. I want to hire an obsessed person who does one thing and one thing only exceptionally well. Yeah, that's who I want, because that person is going to know problems that I haven't even thought of. They're going to know scenarios that I haven't even thought of because they're hiring an expert at that thing. And in fact, they're going to trust me so much, they're just going to pass over the creative to me because they trust what I do, like all my people clients, because that's what I do. Yeah. So, Rinsky, please stick to your lane. Stick to your lane. Don't now, after finally finding me, decide that now your first submission to me is not what you shoot. Your first submission is not the people photography that you do. Your first submission is a product photo, which is not even what you shoot. Please don't do that. All right. Been dying to see your work for so long, dying to see this work. And I really want to see the work, not something else that you do. Doyle Daniels. Doyle Daniels, thank you for your $20 donation, Doyle. Doyle says, we're all here to get better. And I've missed the mark so many times on this channel. Painful critiques when we need to hear it isn't always pleasant. Learning these things here and not with the client is a privilege. There's always next week. Thank you for saying that, Doyle. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for saying that. And again, it's like, I don't articulate that well. I get frustrated. And the reason I get frustrated is because I care. It's the only reason. The only reason I get frustrated is because I care. If I didn't care, oh my God, best photo, amazing, so great. Thank you so much for submitting. Amazing, another 10. Like, if I didn't give a shit, that's what you would hear. You would hear amazing, amazing, all day long. But the thing is that's not the case. It's like, if it's not amazing, I need to say, no, you missed the mark. Because if not, you're going to think that you're great when you're not. It's so simple. You're going to think that you're like Helmut Newton and you're not. And once a real client comes up to you, like, you're going to be like, I got that. And you're going to have all this unjustified confidence, and you're going to just get ripped down and never work again in this industry. Never work again. Like, by the way, I'll tell you how, just FYI, when I was in photography school, in photography university, by the way, I went to Ryerson, which is at TMU, Toronto Metropolitan University. Now, it was the best photography school in the country. Okay. We'd put our prints on the wall. Okay. We'd have our prints on the wall. Professor would come in right on time. If you were pinning your picture or putting your picture on the wall at the time that he walked in the room, he'd be like, hey, you, what are you doing? It's like, I'm just putting your picture. Do you see the time? Uh-huh. It's 1:00. Uh-huh. I'm just finishing. I'm so sorry. It's like, take your picture down, put it back in your bag, and go sit down. He didn't look at that picture because that person was scrambling it to put on the wall when he walked in the office. No. Take that down. Put it in your bag. Go sit down. Everybody else, he would look at the picture and be like, whose picture is that? And you'd go, he'd take it off the wall, rip it in half, go like this, and throw it across the room. Throw it across the room at you. And you'd be like, wouldn't say words. Would just whoosh, garbage. Next. And he'd go like this. Okay. Next. Who's this one? Mine? This one. Who's this? This is the first person who actually listened to what I was saying. Okay. Who's this person? That's me. Take it down. Gone. Like that was critiques. And I'm not talking, he didn't warm up to this. This was first critique ever that we put our photos on the wall. First critique ever. And then he'd say, I thought you guys wanted to be photographers. I thought you wanted to be a photographer. Do you understand? Of those, like my photography school, 2,500 people applied to get into my program. 75 people got in. Of those 75 people, 3 of us are photographers. Three. Michael Alberstadt, Bryce Duffy, Steve Carty, all still working today. Everybody else, oh my God, you're so hard on me, blah, blah, blah. They work in camera stores now and dream about the life of a pro photographer because they didn't have a thick skin. They couldn't take critique. They couldn't take someone not liking what they did. When someone didn't like what they did, they like, you don't like, it's like, cry me a river. You know what I mean? Art directors don't like what you do all the time. Globe and Mail, shooting for Canada's national newspaper. My photo, 2 million people see it, and the art director picked me. So they're on the hook for my work. So I'd bring in a picture and they'd be like, nope, shoot that again. That's garbage. What are you fucking doing? Like, that's exactly how he would talk to me. And I would be like, understand, like physical anxiety attacks before I would walk into this office because I knew this picture that I had that he hadn't seen, not digital, we're talking film, was either going to be on the cover of the Globe and Mail newspaper or he was going to rip it in half and tell me to shoot it again. Those are the only 2 options that were going to happen. Rip, shoot it again, or cover 2 million people see it. So what I'm doing is a service. It's literally a service. And some days I'm in a great mood. Other days I'm like neutral, like today, where it's like, I'm not trying to make friends. I'm trying to be truthful. I'm trying to tell you the truth about the industry and work. Simple. So if you think everybody is going to be like massaging you on the shoulders and is like, oh my God, you're amazing. It's like, if you think that that's what the industry is, you are in for a rude awakening, man. A rude awakening. Nobody gives a shit about you. Nobody. They only give a shit about themselves. So you have to do everything in your power to be excellent on all fronts and be likable and be sticky and be contagious and friendly and funny and all these, like, it's so difficult to actually just be, you know, because people worry so much about what other people think about them. And that's the thing. Like, you have to understand. Sorry, I'm a little snotty. It does for me. I'm too old to care about what people think about me. You understand? I'm too old to care about what people think about me, especially when, number one, I know that I'm doing good. I'm doing something that nobody else is doing, and I'm telling you things that nobody else is telling you. That's good. That's positive, and that's kind. So because of that, if I offend someone, I'm sorry. Sometimes I get like super direct, but understand it's learned behavior because clients are super direct. Like, wait till you talk to Gabe. Talk to Gabe, my marketing coach. Talk to Michael. I'm going to hang out with Michael tonight. I wish Michael would let me record our meetings because there is no filter. There's no filter. There is absolutely no, I do not care whether what I say makes you feel this or that. I do not care. I'm just telling you what it is. What it is. I don't care whether you like it or not. I'm just telling you what it is. Like, listen, I've heard that's a horrible idea. Like, literally, so like, really? And it's like, yeah, dude, you never do that. Don't do that. And someone tell you why. And I'm like, oh my God, thank God I spoke. And Michael was like, dude, do not do that. And this is why. You know, like, there's so many things that, like, with the Carty method, like, without Michael and Gabe, I wouldn't even have this. I wouldn't even have this without the Carty, without Michael and Gabe, because they helped me build it. They taught me how to build it, you know? Oh, dude, honestly, my heart rate is fine. It's just a little hot in here. I'm going to turn the heat down. No, honestly, I I'm passionate is the way that I describe it. I'm passionate and emphatic, I would say. Emphatic is a good word. And honestly, I'll say something and people would be like, the way you said that, I'll never forget it. And it's like, good. And sometimes it's like, ooh, sometimes it's like, no, you delivered it into a way. It's like, it really sticks. And the thing is I've been doing this for 4 years and it works. What I'm doing here works. And I've seen the results of it. The people who have a thick enough skin to be able to tolerate how no bullshit I am, they do well. Okay, this is Chris Foster. So Chris Foster says, this submission represents a few breakthroughs for me. The first one is finally deciding on my niche, which is lifestyle with an automotive product focus. I also considered a breakthrough that I'm applying these lessons that I've learned so far to shoot with intention while framing for the image use in mind. Thanks as always for the critique and the feedback. R3 with a 28 to 70 f2, ISO 250 f2, ISO or a 100th of a second at 35. Shot with a Godox Octobox and 2 LEDs for subject and wheel fill. This is Chris Foster. Chris, I see where you're trying to go. In this situation here, I would shoot car only. It's just one of those things. Like, I want you to think about car models and what car models look like, and like, are you using a car model in this situation? Like, now, I want you to think, if you're trying to learn how to have people in a photograph, you can't grab your wife or you can't grab your friend. It has to be somebody that looks the part. Grab a young man, grab a young lady, and like make the car picture with them. It can't be, you can't just grab somebody, because she is like impossibly out of place. Like, she's out of place on a way, like she's like really like frozen solid. Like, she doesn't know what she's doing. And again, like I commend her for actually honoring you by doing this photo. But this isn't a thing. This isn't it. And the next thing, Chris, is I want you to really look at the framing of this picture. I want you to look at this as a double page spread. I want you to look at the fact that you're focusing on the ass of the car instead of the nose of the car. I want you to look at how this wheel is very out of focus. The back of the car is out of focus. You're shooting this like you shoot a portrait, which is super shallow depth of field, that's not how you shoot a car. And again, it's like, no experience shooting cars. This is a gorgeous car, but you're shooting the car at an angle, but not shooting with the shutter speed that handles that angle and handles the whole car getting in focus. The next thing is that the car is going to distort when you shoot it wide. You're cutting the bumper here because you're so focused on your subject here and the placement here that you're forgetting about the car here and how this is touching the end here, and you're clipping down here. Your stance, you're too tall. You need to go lower when you, again, Chris, there's so many things wrong with this car photo because of the lack of reps. And on top of it, you're not just trying to shoot a car, you're trying to shoot a car and a subject who's not ever been in front of the camera before and is super and with the car. So this, although you're breaking barriers, and I see it for, but you know how to shoot a subject and how to shoot a portrait. You know what I mean? Or you're shooting the car. But again, if you're saying lifestyle, then this isn't lifestyle. Lifestyle is the person in the car, interacting with the car, not posing up with the car. By the way, I have a car. You don't see me leaning on the car because I'm actually using the car. When I'm using the car, I'm using it. So you see me in it. You see me going into the trunk. You see me loading gear on, like, so interacting with the car is lifestyle. And again, I will say, look up car lifestyle photography on Behance. You say car, luxury, lifestyle. And then under creative fields, you say photography. And then you see car, luxury, lifestyle. And like, you have to see what the models look like. you have to see what the models look like. You have to see what the lighting looks like. You see like models. Also hair and makeup, also styling, also location, also time of day. Like there's so many moving parts that like this male model from an agency, full stylist with footwear and on location with crew and full lighting, like, and a photographer who knows what he's doing. So this is what you're saying that you want to do. This is what you're saying. And by the way, this is a fashion photographer. This is a fashion photographer first that shot Cadillac. You're trying to learn how to be a fashion photographer, a car photographer, a lifestyle photographer, all at the same time. So it's like, Chris, it's very difficult to do what you say that you want to do. Okay, so let me remove the lighting. Again, model, styling. Look at the styling. It's the exact it girl with the exact it outfit that is tonally correct from her hairstyle to her toes. And look at this shot. And look at it like, I mean, as a double, I have to shrink my frame, which I don't really feel like doing. But you can imagine it also doesn't work quite as a double, but this one does. Like, you need to look at references in order to see, like, again, I'll say this is a fashion photographer that got hired by a car company. It's a fashion photographer first, understanding clothing, styling, direction, location, and then they add the car. So again, like we can keep looking and you can keep seeing like it's not going to change. It doesn't matter what I show you. It's always going to be, and again, or it's this where you're shooting. This is also lifestyle. This is also lifestyle. They're interacting with the car. They're doing something with the car. They're not posting up with the car. So Chris, this is how you have to, like, you can't just say that you're going, this is your niche without truly knowing what it is. Here's like an angled horizon line shot, not quite as angled as Ian Martin. Again, you see, this is a car shooter, average. This is average. And never mind. Ignore this. Great location, but meh. Again, here, actual model, crazy location, fashion photographer shooting cars. Don't get it twisted. It's a fashion photographer. So, yeah, and this is all just stuff shot for web. You can tell by the composition. There's no like horizontal double pages or anything like that. So Chris, like, when it comes to, if this is what it is that you're trying to do, look at the references. Like, truly look at the references and look at what the girls look like. Look at what the photography looks like, because I think that you'd be kind of surprised as far as how fashion based it is. It's very, very style forward, and you can't just grab anybody to do that. You just can't. So here's another angle, which is again what I'm hoping to see more from Garan like this, and also more from Sean Thomas like this type of car photography, lifestyle. Like, this is the vibe. So again, Chris, you're in my accelerator. This is what you need to do. You need to really dive in deep to see what it is that you're trying to do. This one's a miss for me. But keep swinging for the fences, my friend. I have Anton Duras next. Anton says, hey, Carty and crew, for this assignment, I wanted to break multiple barriers. Night photography, using a tripod, long exposure, black and white photography. Did I take on too much? Maybe, but I'm hungry. I went to the neighboring city of Kosi, which is nearly 800 years old. With a slow shutter speed, I aim to create contrast between the passage of time for humans appearing as ghosts and the city, which stands still. Looking forward to your feedback. A6600, Sigma 18 to 50, ISO 327.1 at a 1 second exposure. This is Anton Duris. Anton, this is a yes. This is a yes for me. Let me just see how this double page drops. This is very, very good, Anton. This is very good. I mean, it's just about where the gutter drops. Do you drop the gutter there, or do you drop the gutter in here? Like in here, through here? I mean, it's inconsequential. You dropped it in between this space. You put each building on each side. That means yes. This is a yes, 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 yes. This movement, love. You could have even gone slower. You could have even gone slower, Anton. But this truly, I feel like it's the beginning of you, like I've said, which is turning a city into a destination. You've hidden the identity of these people. I feel like you could have ghosted just a little bit, like instead of 1 second, 1.5 second, 1 2/3 second, 2 seconds. Like, just try to see what the movement looks like. But I love this technique so much. I want you to do it again. I want you to do it again and again and again. I just want you to watch your exposure, because exposure wise in here, Anton, it's a little dark. It's a little muddy up in here and a little dark here. I think overall, the whole thing can go up like 1/3 in exposure. Try that for me and see what plus 1/3 looks like. I think it's going to be relatively close. So show me what 1/3 looks like. I like this so much, Anton. This is a yes, yes, yes for me. This is a yes, yes, yes for me. We're going to turn that away. Again, I'm going to show you this as a double page one more time. Again, slight little angle compositions that you could do if you came. It's really tricky because of the way that this goes. But if you stood this way a little more and aimed in this way a little more, you might be able to drop this like right here and still get the gutter in here. Again, I'm just splitting hairs. I think you did a great job. That's a yes for me, Anton. Yes. And again, this is the beginning of you starting to show the place that you are as a Anton said, I tried so many shutter speeds, it wasn't easy to catch. It was either too fast or too slow. I get it. I love the fact that you went through the shutter speeds. You didn't just shoot at 1 second. So good for you, Anton. This is a really good swing. Just give me this like 1/3 of a stop more overexposed. Just like bump up the exposure like 20%, 30%. See what that looks like. This is a really good swing. Good shit. That's Anton Dirtis. Anton. Taylor loves it. Taylor Swift. All right, who's next? Eric Hernandez. Eric says, for this assignment, I decided to work on shooting long exposures with strobes and continuous light LED to show movement. I've experimented with this before, but it was always a jumbled mess with no real detail, and I wanted to break the barrier of making a clear image. After trying out a bunch of different settings, this photo was achieved at the end by having the model hold her first pose for the first 3 seconds of capturing, switching the LEDs to their flashing mode as she walked to the end position, then having a strobe fire at the end. This needs a lot more refinement. That sounds really clunky, but I appreciate any feedback. Yeah, Eric, that sounds a little clunky. Let me have a look. R6, 1.8, 50 millimeter on a tripod. ISO 100, R6, 50 millimeter, 1.8 on a tripod. ISO 100, 5.6 at a 6-second exposure. Shot with a flash point, 600 with a 48-inch octabox. Set to rear curtain sync with 2 LED lights on a stand. This is Eric Hernandez. Let's see what Eric has for us. Eric, let's get it on. I definitely appreciate the attempt. The thing that I worried about is that it would look a little too posy, and it's kind of looking a little bit too posy. I'm trying to also think of like the real world application. One would just do this in post, where you would just provide, you would just shoot a sequence like pop, 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 that of her just moving here. You can see up here, we're getting too much light because of that 6-second exposure and how long of that 6 seconds was allowed to hit here. The head angle here is wrong. The pose, she looks like a little, like, you know what I mean? This head angle is way nicer, but she's looking towards camera, which is putting a really weird nose shadow on the light. Like, she should be looking straight. And again, the light on her face is like, it's not it, all you really do see is this nose triangle because you're lighting her from the side, not from the front. And then on this side, you're lighting her from the side. Again, this is one of those attempts that you're trying to do something new. I get it. I want to show you a picture of mine that, I mean, this is something that I've been shooting a technique like this for like 10 years. Different than what you do, different than what you're doing. It's just, I call it multiplicity. It looks like this, which you can see the way that this is one fluid movement. There's no like pose here for 2 seconds and that, like, it's just one fluid movement. And you can see it actually has that fluidity. There's another example right here with a different model. You can see he's looking at his phone, and then through his steps, he takes his phone and brings his phone up to his ear and then walks out of the frame. So you can see the fluidity. I do this with studio strobe, that my studio strobe fires multiple times. Like I can get it to fire like once a second, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like I can go, or it can go pop, 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 pop. But it like you fire and it then goes 1, 2, 3 fires. So there is no such thing. There's no second curtain sync. There's no like, these are all individual frames that are shot. What I do is I open the shutter for 3 seconds. So I click the picture and then I walk with them. I move with them through that time and then it's over. So I do a way different technique that's way less friction. And you can see how I don't have the issue of any burning light or any overexposure happening throughout. There's one more example that I can show you. And again, it involves, this is for Nike. You can see done with the same technique. It's all the same exposure over top of itself. And then I have another example here, which this is 2 shots over top of themselves. You can see, oops. You can see here, this is 2 shots over top of itself, and how picture, and I just move the camera in between these frames. So I set the camera for 2 pops on that one. So again, it's like we can really push this as far as you're willing to learn. This is 4 flashes. So again, I do this not with like LED and then just 1 pop at the end. I have a studio light that does multiple shots on the same frame. I think many companies do this. Ellen Chrome is the one that I use. So that is how I would take, like, again, you can see you got hot here, but then you're losing it all through here, and then you have a completely different idea over here. So again, I think just keep working through the process. It's a really good effort. As a double page spread, it really composed strongly. Again, it's just the lack of fluidity makes this pose here awkward and makes this final pose a little bit awkward as well. I hope that helps you. All right, that was Eric Hernandez. This is Jay Tracy. Jay says, "Hey, Carty. Excited and grateful to be here. Yay. I've pushed my boundaries by going full studio, which is likely normal for most, but for an underwater photographer, Jay Tracy used to shoot underwater. This is pushing my boundaries. Makeup artist gave me this beautiful model, beautiful soft glam look, and the 3 of us had such a great session working together. Start with the A7R4 85mm 1.8, ISO 320 at 200 of a second, f2.2, beauty dish as the main. Beauty dish with grid as the main, and a small fill light and a white reflector in the rear. This is Jay Tracy. Let's get it on. So a couple of things here, Jay. First of all, I mean, this is a horizontal assignment, but you can see what your horizontal looks like because you're shooting almost dead center horizontal. So you can see how this doesn't really work layout-wise in a magazine. This is a vertical picture. There's no reason to have held the camera horizontal here. Other than the fact that her elbows are a little bit out, if I was to take this frame, or here, why don't I just hide that one? But if I was to take, let's say, a line and draw a line there, and then take a line and draw a line there, and then take a line and draw a line there, we could agree that you're not really losing anything of the photo if I show you this, right? So the horizontal, there's not really a reason for the horizontal. And also it's a poorly composed horizontal. So there's no real place for this to go in a magazine, as I showed you here. There's no place for this to go in a magazine, which means they would make a square or like put it on half a page or whatever. You need to know how to shoot to layout. Next is, when you're working with people who call themselves makeup artists, they love to be like, oh my God, I'm a makeup artist, I'm blah, blah, blah. Fake eyelashes, makeup artists. With photography, fake eyelashes are like, they have to be perfect. They have to be so perfect. And I'm going to show you, these are not perfect. These are so not perfect, because you can see that like this is a map. Like this is not perfect as far as like the gap in between here. And this just looks so thick that you can't actually even see her eye. And they're so heavy that she can't open her eye. As you can see, this is all, and then you're doing some weird retouching in here, and it ends up just being a mess. Also, eye contact. Like eye contact really rivets and like really grabs your really grabs us. You can see she looks like she's half in a blink. I love the life. I don't mind the styling, but she needs to be looking at the camera. And also you're lighting her from the side, and I'm recommending that you light her from the front because it's a female. You light men from the side because women have wrinkles and bumps and pores and all that stuff. And I took this thing like this and put it in the sand and lit it from any angle. What's it going to create? It's going to create a shadow in the opposite direction, right? From any angle, unless I light it right from the top. If I light it right from the top, it puts the shadow in on itself, right? No shadow. So this is why you light women from the front, because it puts the pore shadows in on themselves and gives them flawless skin. Lighting left and right. You can do that if you have, first of all, a really good understanding of light. The first light that you should be trying to master is front light. Like literally, it's the first light, especially with females. You should be trying to master front light. And I'm going to show you like how often I use front light. Like look at front light. You see the shadow right down here under her nose. Look at how even this light is. Front light. Like females, this is natural light. Front light. Look at how flawless that is. Front light. You can't lose with front light. And then again, front light. Shadowless. Front light. Super, super even when you're shooting females. Now, this is what happens when you light a female with side light. Do you see all the shadow, like all the different shadows that are happening on the face? Now, again, keep in mind, this was like an editorial portrait. It's a different kind of a picture. I'm not trying to make it a fashion picture. So I lit this a little bit differently. But again, this model, 18 years old, she's got insanely perfect skin. But even here, you can see these flaws on her skin because I'm lighting her from the side. And again, I was trying something. But like with her just all black and like her face kind of just coming out through this little window. But you can see a majority of when I light females, it's from the front. When I light men, it's from the side. You see here, perfect, even front light. And also, fake eyelashes? No, they're real. You see? You see, because I work with a makeup artist that knows, like, no, they don't do that stuff because it just looks tacky on film. You know what I mean? No fake eyelashes. And again, that's the difference between working with makeup artists that are legit and makeup artists that are calling themselves makeup artists. Again, same thing. Like, no fake lashes. Like, only people who think they're makeup people do fake lashes. But look at my work. You'll see no fake lashes. Look. And how much nicer the light kisses the face. You know what I mean? But again, we're talking makeup right now. And again, this is just stuff that you learn, Jay. I'm going to show you again here. the lashes. So this is stuff that you watch. I'm also going to look at the lip line, and looking at the lip line, this is not like a perfect lip line. You can see under here where she made a mistake here, and how down here it's not actually like a clean line. So all of this stuff is like, when we're using talent, everybody can say just like everyone can say they're a photographer. Anyone can say they're a makeup artist as well. They can say they're a stylist, and they can also say they're a model. So it's like you have to really be like wary of what these models are doing and what the makeup artists are doing, and watch your makeup artist. Make sure, like, if you see her putting caterpillars on your model's face, be like, hey, you know what? They're not really going to show the light well. Her eyelashes are going to be extended by the fact that I'm lighting her from the front. Like, you'll see them. Trust me. Like, we don't really need them. Like, just tell them, like, mascara, yes. Eyelashes, no. They just look tacky. And especially at 50 megapixels, they just look tacky. So anyways, that's 2 cents in a bag of chips. Jay, work on the composition horizontally, work on the light, and talk to your makeup people and literally show them this clip and talk to them about what I'm talking to you about. If you're looking at here, you can even see this arch here on her lip. You can see how this arch and this arch don't match. Do you see that? How this one is more peaked and this one is more rounded. Do you see that? Do you see how this one is peaked and this one is rounded? So again, I'm going to say you have to look at your work with this level of obsession. For me, the first thing I noticed when I saw this picture is her eyelashes. That's the first thing I noticed. And also the fact that her eyes were so closed. I mean, I know she's Asian, but her eyes are extra closed because of the fake eyelashes on top. I hope that helps you. That is Jay Tracy. Jay, don't stop submitting just because first reviews are hard. Don't stop submitting. You have to keep submitting, but you have to learn every single thing that I'm telling you from this. Keep in mind, this is a vertical picture that you're shooting horizontal. There's no real reason for you to drop her compositionally right there because it doesn't work. I hope you see that. All right. That is Jay Tracy. Let's look at Jennifer Grace. Jennifer, I know what you did, and I'm so proud of you. Jennifer said, I know I'm taking a risk for a possible disqualification. Nope, not in this case. Not in this case. Jennifer said that I know that I'm at risk for a possible disqualification by submitting a self-portrait, but that's a chance that I decided I was willing to take in order to overcome this barrier. Although this image isn't as fancy as some of the photos that you'll be looking at today, this mental barrier has been a big one for me. I've been working through the fear of being on camera that has haunted me for my entire life, childhood included. So thank you for your time and your consideration. I look forward to your review as always. EOS R 50mm 5.6, ISO 200 f8 at 1/60th of a second to shot with the Godox 8200 with an umbrella. Jennifer is petrified of being on camera. Petrified. And I might cry. Fuck. I hate when this happens midstream, Jennifer. Like, I hate when this happens midstream because I'm like right with you. Jennifer has not ever photographed herself, and she doesn't let herself be in pictures. She just avoids it, and she definitely is not willing to take a self-portrait. And guess what she did? Jennifer, not only, like, truly, you're allowed to break a barrier and show me a self-portrait if this is what you did. If this is what you did, you're allowed. Jennifer, I am so absolutely proud of you. This is Jennifer Grace. Jennifer, this is so good. It's likable and it's real. And again, you composed on the 3rd. So again, it's really hard when you're shooting yourself, when you're also in the picture, being able to frame it exactly. But beautiful front light, very well done front light. Great expression. You're beautiful. I don't know why you're all up in your head about being on camera. Like, again, I'm a nerd and I'm on camera. So, one thing Front light needs to be a little bit higher because I'm going to show you the set. This is your set. This is your background. This is your face. You're sitting. You have your knees up. You're holding onto your knees. Your bum's here. Your camera's here. Okay. Now, your camera's here. Now, your light is like here. Okay. I need your light to come a little bit higher. Here, let me just, I need your light to come just a little bit higher, meaning if you're here and your head's here and your light is here, I need it to come from like here. So it just needs to come down on more of an angle. I can tell here because, you know, when you look at the eye, you look at the pupil, it's like 12 o'clock is front light, 1 o'clock, 2, 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock is side light, right? So you can actually see where the light is placed based on looking at the pupils. So I can see exactly where the light is placed, like exactly. And also another secret here is this nose shadow here. And the fact that that nose shadow is relatively close up to your nose, what I try to do is split the difference. I try to put it, the distance between here and the top of the lip, I try to drop that shadow here. And again, it also gives you just a little bit of molding in here, a little bit of shadow in here, and a little bit of shadow in the side of your face here. Jennifer, this is the only thing I'm saying. And the other thing is you're composing on the thirds. So again, I'm going to show you this. This is the double page, blah, 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 blah. You can see. And what you're doing is you're composing on the thirds because you can see here, this is 1/3, right? This is the next third. And we've been taught to compose on the thirds, right? We've been taught to just, oops, that's a bit high. We've been taught to put it, to just do this, right? That's the grid that we use. And it, like, yes. But you can see also that it doesn't work with so what I'll ask you to do is instead of doing a 3x3 grid, do a 4x4 grid. So 4x4 will give you a center line and then also a quarter line here where you can drop yourself right in between here and here. Perfect. So now you're actually framed up perfectly. This is great, Jennifer. I'm giving you all the love here. Honestly, this is the first of many. And this should be the beginning of you not being stressed about being on camera. You're beautiful. You're like, it's great. This is just likable. The only thing I'll say is now do another picture with the same pose, but you have your camera and have your camera like in your hand, like this, as you're like holding onto your leg. You know what I mean? So you're holding onto your camera. So we see the photographer side of you. But my camera was actually taking the picture, so I couldn't really hold onto my camera because my other camera was actually taking the photo. So we understand that. But Jen, this is great. This is great. This is great, 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 great. And get into the habit of documenting yourself while you're working. Wait till the next challenge I have for you, which comes in and around like, I'm going to give you the challenge. Like it comes in a couple of weeks, but I'm going to be asking you to make a video where you're actually going to be like, hi, I'm Jennifer Grace. I've been a professional photographer. Like you're actually going to talk about who you are, what you do, and how you can help the person who's watching this video with photography. Like it's going to be so on point. It's tricky, but you're going to get it. And honestly, Jennifer, this is a yes for me. I'm giving you an 11 for this. This is very, very, very good. Your skin tone's just a touch hot. Your skin, I'm going to call this +1/3. Oops. Hello. Your skin, I'm going to call +1/3. Okay. +1/3. This could drop down. Lower this by 20 to 30%. Okay. It's just a I mean, it might only be 10 to 20%. But it's just a little bright. But that's the only issue. The gray on gray, the tone on tone, great. The gray jeans, great. The hair looks great. Like everything is great. Great, 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 great. You just needed to be moved over. You can see, you just need to be moved over. I'll show you this. Watch this. I drop this frame and then I take Jennifer Grace and I just blow you up and I just move you over. I just move you over just a little bit like that. And then just lower you a little bit, just like that. You see? Like it's literally, that's all we need to do is just move you over. But because you compose yourself on the thirds, you can see it doesn't sit exactly right. All right. So that is Miss Jennifer Grace, Miss Jennifer, you getting an 11. Taylor, are you happy? Of course she is. Way to go. Well done, Jennifer. Well done. And again, it's hard, but once you do it and 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 do it, it's just like I shoot thumbnails. Like it's so funny. I shoot all my thumbnails and I do them in batches, and I have to be like, and like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's so lame. You just do it, you know? And it's like people, when they see my thumbnail, like it's about how they react. So sometimes I'm like, boss man, photo critique guy. But sometimes I'm like, you know, like you just kind of got to get used to doing, and it's fun. You know, it's hilarious. You should watch me. I'm going to film myself shooting my thumbnails, and next time you'll see how funny it is. And again, I just embarrass myself. I don't care. I just do it. All right. That's Jennifer Grace, everybody. Let's go. Joshua Haney. Joshua says, a profile of my daughter. I focused on two aspects of this assignment, lighting and subject angle. For lighting, I set the light behind the backdrop, which illuminated the walls and reflected her face, but added a dramatic shadow. I went with a profile view to enhance the style of lighting I used. R6, 85mm f2, ISO 400, f8, 100th of a second. Shot with a single newer strobe, a Vision 4 with no attached modifier. Not even a reflector? This is Joshua Haney. Joshua, this is beautiful. Beautiful. This is a yes for me. Yes. Like, let's see this as a double. Oh, Joshua. Holy moly, bro. You killed this. This is a yes. Yes. I just want you to watch the color balance. It's a bit green. That's it. It's just a bit green. You see me here. This is a neutral black shirt with neutral white. You see my skin tone, neutral. Now, when you look right across there, when you look right across there, you see just on the other side of this pink line that your back, it has a green cast. You see it has a green cast. And then when we're going into your daughter's skin tone, we see there's a little bit of a green cast as well. So other than the cast, it's perfect. So I just want you to recolor balance this for me. But this is unequivocally a yes. Yes. This is beautiful. And again, as a double page, this is movie poster level photography. Movie poster level. And imagine this as a movie poster. I want you to think of that. Like this as a vertical. Like this as a vertical, as a movie poster. This is killer. I love this so much. This will absolutely go in your portfolio. This is a yes for me, Joshua Haney. That is a yes. Taylor, hit it. Deadpool, hit it. All right, we happy now. All right, let's see Charles Fortin. Charles says, I've been wanting to experiment with panning for a while. This week's assignment was just what I needed to finally get it. This photograph is a testament to the feeling of freedom that you get when you land in a new country and explore. A7 4 28 to 75, 2.8, ISO 50, yes. F14 at 1/25th of a second. This was shot natural light. This is Charles Fortin. Charles, let's get it on. Charles, this is a vibe. Compositionally, I want you to see this, though. You can see that it's like right quite close to the gutter. The hard thing is, Charles, is like this guy is composed like pretty perfect as far as like his centering. But you can see like this little wheel, like we're going to lose that wheel. I love this technique, though. Like the technique, the idea is 100% on point. The hard thing is it's just, for me, it's weird with cars. I mean, here's how I'll explain it. When it comes to transportation and how you face the bike, we were dealing with this yesterday, okay? Double page spread. When with a car, double page spread with a car. So imagine this is the double, right? Or a motorcycle or a bike. If it's a double page, the bike, car, or motorcycle needs to be on this page facing outwards, okay? And the writing needs to be behind. If you're shooting a portrait, it is the exact opposite. If you're shooting a portrait, the person's face should be here, looking into the other side of the page. So if a face is here, they would be looking that way if on a double page spread, right? So the rules don't apply with a vehicle. A vehicle should be zooming out of the frame and you should see where they've come from. It's weird. Like it's weird that way, but so number one, I think that this could have been even better if he was on the other side, if he was on this side here, and the streaking was on this side. But again, it's just that wheel. You're a little too close to him. All you need to do is pull back a little bit. Do you have a picture where you can contain him all on one page is my question. Overall, though, Charles, I'll hide this. It's such a good idea. The exposure is perfect. The focus is relatively strong. I know it's not going to be perfect focus. It's not going to be perfect focus based on the movement. There's going to be a little bit of camera shake because this is legit happening. But this is really close, Charles. I'm giving you love. I'd love to see you try panning more. Really try panning more because you're very close. I liked the shutter speed that you chose based on this speed. This is very close, Charles. Good job. Charles Fortin. Great job. All right, this is Mr. Doyle Daniels. Doyle says, hey, Carty crew, this week I experimented with a composite for the first time and dabbled in conceptual design. Something I've experienced with, but I'm still very much exploring. I wanted an everyday person in the shot, and was inspired by last week's assignment where I played with old and new technology. This time I incorporated that contrast by having Tim use an iPad on one side of the frame while reading a book on the other. Also, a big credit to Nick, who I had to reach out to for some Photoshop coaching on this one. I used 2 400-watt strobes and 1 200-watt strobe, positioning them to bounce off the surrounding walls. My goal was to mimic natural light as much as possible while still using artificial lighting. Hopefully it makes sense. Z8, 50mm 1.2, ISO 100, 2/5 of a second at 1/11 of a second. Sorry. 2/5 of a second. So isn't that 2.5 of a second? I've never heard of 2/5 of anything. Okay, so we'll call this anyways, a slow shutter speed at f11. This is Doyle Daniels. Doyle, this is a vibe, Doyle. This is a yes. This is a very contemporary double exposure and done very, very, very well. The light coming from everywhere. You did it. You actually did it, my guy. This light feels like it's the source, but it's not. This is so well executed. Let's look at this as a double. Oh yeah, you killed this. You really killed this. I'm impressed, mister. You killed this. This is a really, really good swing. Good room styling. Good idea. Book and iPad. The only way that you could flip it is put him in a separate outfit here. The book blends a little bit because it's blue on blue. I would have changed him into a different hoodie so he's not wearing maybe a different outfit, but the same outfit actually does work. The angle of the iPad, we don't see the iPad enough. I would like to maybe take the iPad out of the case so you actually see the Apple logo. Because imagine, here, I'll just show you an example. Imagine rather than him, here, I have perfect examples here. Okay, so here's me holding one iPad, right, with Apple Pencil, and you're looking at me from the side here, right? So I turn this, and I flip it, so it looks like, and I'm holding it like this. So does it actually look like an iPad when I'm holding it at this angle? Do you see? Does it actually? So the only thing that tells me that it's an iPad is that he has this white Apple Pencil, right? And he's white, but he's holding it at this angle, right? I want you to see the angle that he's holding it at. Do you see? So you can't really see that it's an iPad. Watch this. So I'll put this iPad here, and I'll grab my other iPad, and I'll take this one, and I'll watch me holding this iPad at the same angle. So I'm holding this iPad. Look at this logo. You see what this logo does when I'm holding this iPad at this angle? And then also, you see this shiny surface? And now There's no question if I now have the pencil with this iPad at this angle that it's an iPad, right? There's no question that it's an iPad, right? If you're holding it like this, right? There's no question. Pencil, this, Apple logo, now you're connecting with the brand. You had an iPad. You just have to take it out of the case because they don't show iPads in cases in advertising. The iPad is always on its own outside of a case, yes or yes. So the difference, what looks sexier, this or this? What would you rather see? This iPad or this one? Yeah, I have to. So, you know what I mean? So take it out of the case. That is that's the missing link, is once it's out of the case, then now you're actually like, oh, okay, now I see that it's an iPad, and I see that iPad right away. And your brain doesn't have to work. I don't have to work to say, what is he working on? Because I see it right away. It hits faster if this is out of the case. And also it's silver and sexy, and I see the logo. And then the pen makes sense. And then it makes sense if this book, if you're going to have him in the same outfit, that this book is not a blue book. Make it a different color book, like a brown book. A brown book would tie back into the set. A brown book ties into these books. A brown book ties into the furniture. But it doesn't get lost in here. So Doyle, this is unequivocally an 11. Unequivocally. But what I just did was I gave you tips on how to take this 11 and make it like truly bananas. Remember, when you're shooting technology, including your iPhone, that means please take your iPhone out of the case. Take it out of the case, because like nobody wants to see this. They don't want to see this. They want to see this. This is the product. They want to see this. So whenever you're doing tech stuff, you have to take the phone out of the case, because literally, trust me, this looks better with this in the logo than this does, right? So this, it's protection. So don't shoot protection when you're shooting an ad. Other than that, Doyle Daniels, you absolutely murked this, my guy. This is sick. Unequivocally, this is 11. In case I didn't tell you that already, that's an 11. And buy an iPad. They're cheap right now. Like, seriously, the original, like just the iPad 10th version is Apple Pencil, genius. I have 2 of them. I literally have 3 of them, I think, because I don't use paper anymore. I just make notes on my iPad. It's so fun. And yeah, it's genius. Keep in mind, an iPad is not a retouching tablet. It's not for retouching. Yes. It's just for you making notes instead of using paper and having that paper everywhere. Your handwritten notes can then also be synced, and you see those handwritten notes on all your devices. All right, that's Doyle Daniels. Doyle, you did very well. All right, we have a couple of cartel submissions. We're into our last 2 photos. Let's see if my heart rate's gone down. I'm still in the hundreds. Dude, I've been amped up today. Still in the hundreds. You know what happens is, like, I almost got frostbite yesterday with Sean. We both almost lost our fingers, like literally outside working in -10. Stupid. Ammon Thompson is first of the cartel. Ammon says, light painting with a model. This is Jake, one of my lifelong friends. Thanks for the assignment and your time doing this review today. I appreciate you, Ammon. Thank you. XT5, a 27mm 1.2, ISO 125, f13 at 5 seconds. Single strobe, handheld, mini RGB light. Ammon Thompson. Ammon, thanks for submitting, Ammon. Let's get it on. Ammon, this is a vibe. This is a vibe. You went a little bit hot on the exposure on his face, but this is a vibe. Like, there's something here. Let me show you this as a double. Compositionally Very, 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 very strong. There's two things that you did here that you're going to do better next time. Number one, black t-shirt instead of white. Black t-shirt instead of white. Black t-shirt means that we're going to get separation because the black t-shirt's going to show as a black t-shirt. But this flow of light that you're bringing in front of him would actually show, because you can see it doesn't show on the white. Like the light painting in front of him doesn't show on the white, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing is exposure. Because you're flashing him and also doing a long exposure, it's almost like, did you have a modeling light on his face? Because if you had a modeling light on his face, the modeling light is a different color temperature than the strobe. And the modeling light itself actually increased the temperature, increased the color balance, and increased the exposure. So his exposure is plus, I'm going to call it a third, maybe even as far as a half. And yeah, it just, and it got like a little yellow. It got a little yellow-ish because of the light painting with the LED, right? And you going around his face and that like trailing off him. So those are the two things. I'd love to see you try that again. When you're doing a long exposure, say you do a reading and your reading is like f5.6, but you're going to be doing a 30-second exposure or a 3-second exposure or a 5-second exposure. Take that 5.6 and stop down a little bit to compensate that it's not just going to be just the flash. There's also going to be some ambient. So if you lower that 5.6 dead on reading to like 5.6 and a third, which is 6.3, or 5.6 and 2/3, which is 7.1, like you're going to just add a little bit based on you're going to be spending time with the shutter open and you painting. Do that and you'll find your shutter speeds nail a little bit more. This though, Amond, is unequivocally an 11. Let me take my writing off your photo. That's an 11, dude. Like very, 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 very well done. And again, you can see with the light painting and where you're painting, this is getting a little bit too high up here, but you have definitely some room over here to like, it's like what you're doing with the swirl. Like the more you get experience with the light painting, the more like you're like hella disciplined with what you're doing, the colors that you're choosing and all of that stuff. With time, this comes. And again, I'll show you, I've been doing light painting for 20 years. So because I've been doing it for 20 years, like my light painting is like statements. I make statements. This is like fine art statement piece. You know what I mean? Like I've taken light painting so far, or I've tried to take it so far. And again, this is one of my favorite pieces, but to just show you what I do with my light painting, I just do it. I'm just different with it. I like, and the things that I use in order to paint, like the wands that I choose. You can see the wands that I choose are very, and I don't know, it's just, we really have the ability, like this is light painting. It looks like a ribbon through my foot. Like, so the angles that I'm holding it, I'm using like a long bar, like I'm trying to take this like really far. So for you, Mr. Amond Thompson, know that your early swings at light painting are going to be difficult, but I think that you did this so well. It's a really good attempt. Bless you, baby. But know that when you look back at this, you'll be like, oh my God, I could make that so much better if I did it again. You know what I mean? So I hope that helps you. That's Amond Thompson. Well done. Well done. That brings me a smile. It's like me when I first started light painting. And this is Joseph Baldwin. Joseph says this is our last photo of the week. Joseph says, this week I set out to break barriers in skateboarding while taking the first step in building my skate photography portfolio. It's also my first time shooting with a fisheye. This is an experience. The skater's name was Jackson. Backside 50-50, shot with the R with a Ronin fisheye lens, which is at 8mm. Shot at ISO 1000 at 125th at f8. This is Joseph Baldwin. Joseph! Joseph, this is a vibe, bro. This is a vibe. I mean, the hard thing is like the circle. Like once photography gets to, like once the lens gets wider, then I think it's like, it starts to get circular, like in the like 11 millimeter range, 11, 10, anything less than 10. It's no longer a horizontal picture. It's actually a circle. You can see how you could make this work editorially. The light even, you got beautiful Rembrandt light on him, only it's just a little bit hot in exposure. You can see, let me just drop my frame here. You can see how your exposure is just a bit hot. I would call this like plus half. That's about half a stop over. But it's such a dope idea. The fact that this guy's doing a 50-50 and like looking at you and giving you daps as you're doing it. I mean, for me, Joseph, I always want to see a mix of this and the editorial. I always want to see a mix of this, the tricks, the stuff's happening, and you shooting portraits. So I think this is a sick idea. I think the light placement's amazing. I'm giving it an 11 on this one. And again, look at the double page spread. His head is just a bit high in the frame. But again, shooting with these lenses are so tricky. I think he did a good job. This is a good job. That's Joseph Baldwin, everybody. And that is the last photo of the day. I do have some photos of the week that I'd love to talk about. Photos of the week are very important. This is how I decide who's getting the love. Ready to take your photography business to the next level? I've created 3 powerful tools designed to make an immediate impact on your workflow, your client outreach, and your daily habits. These resources will help you work smarter, grow faster, and feel more confident in building your career. You'll find links to all 3 under tools at thecartymethod.com. If you're struggling to find clients, my Cold Outreach Master Pack has everything that you need to land new business. It includes 18 proven email templates and a step-by-step guide for writing emails that get opened and generate real responses. If you're ready to take your client hunting strategy up a notch, this pack gives you clear, effective blueprints to start getting results. Consistency builds success. My professional photographer habit tracker is your daily accountability tracker. It helps you build the habits that matter most to running a successful photography business. Track your progress, set meaningful goals, and stay focused on what moves the needle. If you're serious about making steady progress, this tracker is a game changer. Shoots can get chaotic. Stay organized. My Ultimate Photographer's Call Sheet is your one-stop solution for planning and managing every detail of your shoots. From client communication and location info to equipment checklists and timelines, this tool helps you stay on top of it all. With my call sheet, you'll run your shoots like a seasoned pro, no matter how big or small the project. This is the call sheet that clients will remember forever. These tools are built for photographers who are serious about their craft and ready to streamline their businesses, connect with clients, and build professional habits that last. You can find them all under tools at thecartymethod.com. Let's start transforming your business today. All right, you guys ready for Photos of the Week? Photos of the week. I am ready. I got them. Let's get it on. Our first photo of the week goes to Rob Wilson Jr. With this photo right here, Rob Wilson, well done, buddy. This is a great, very compositionally strong, amazing for a horizontal assignment. I love you like sliding into the lifestyle. There's a vibe here. Remember everything I said during my critiques, but this is Taylor Swift saying, yes. Well done. That's a photo of the week. Rob Wilson Jr. Well done, Rob. Our next photo of the week goes to, well, it's Anton Dudis. Look at you. Photo of the week, Anton. Congratulations, buddy. Congratulations. Happy to be giving you photo of the week for this execution, because I know it's a bridge. This is a bridge into a whole new perspective of how you're showcasing your city. I appreciate this. And again, we are on a plan, me and you. Good job. Next is the one who almost likes to make me cry. The one who wants to make me cry. Her name, Jennifer Grace. Congratulations. That is a photo of the week, Jennifer. Congratulations. You broke barriers. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. So proud of you for getting through this mental block. This is going to help you on so many different aspects of your business. It's going to help you on so many different aspects of your life. It's the beginning of you starting to be extroverted. It's the beginning of you literally catching up to your future self. This is you in the future. This is you right here. In order for you to cross that distance, to catch up to your future self, you need to be doing things like this, and not just once, over and over and over again. How you do something that you've never done before is by doing a series of things that you've never done before. And this was the first one for you. I'm very, very proud of you. That is Jennifer Grace. Well done, Jennifer. Let's get you into your future self. And again, the thing that's amazing is watching you guys, watching the Doyle Daniels and the Nick Johnsons and like the Jay Tracys like come into like their future self. Like, Jay, I know you're not quite there yet, but you're new with me. You're just starting. You're just starting this journey with me. I'm so excited for you. Oh, guys, photo of the week. Joshua Haney. I say this name a lot. Joshua Haney. Joshua, this brings me so much joy. This is such a magic photograph. Such a magic photograph. I'm proud of you. Good job. Joshua Haney, everybody. Great job. Photos of the week. It's hard. Honestly, it's hard. And you can see like the bar keeps going up and you can't rest. If you rest, you're going backwards. Like literally you have to keep pushing. Demonstrated by this photographer right here. And again, I wasn't hard on you. I just gave you 2 things to make this like not an 11 out of 10, but like a 15. Okay, guys, your next photo of the week goes to Doyle Daniels. Doyle. Yeah, bro. Like, come on. This makes me so happy. This makes me so happy. You killed this so well. So well done. Doyle Daniels, everybody. Taylor. Yeah? Okay, good. Doyle Daniels. And you, again, I don't mark you against you.
Yes,
I don't mark you against anyone else. I mark you against you. If you've leveled up from something that you've done before, you get recognized. Next photo of the week goes to Ammon Thompson. Let's get it on. Ammon Thompson. Let's get it on. Ammon, I want this picture again. This is absolutely usable and absolutely a photo of the week, but I want this photo again with a black t-shirt. No logos, just a jet black t-shirt. And I want you to be thinking about this space. But still, this flies. 100% flies. You did very well. Very, very, very well. That's a photo of the week. Taylor. Okay. Just stay with the enthusiasm for everybody. Don't do it for some people and not on other people. Got it? Not some people and not the other people. Do it for everybody. Okay? Holy moly. This bitch thinks because she plays the Super Bowl, she's like super famous and can just do it. Thank you. You can just do anything. Like, you work for me on this operation here. When I say jump up and say yes or yes. Jump up and say yes or yes when I say so. And our last photo of the week. Now that's early. We'd agree that one was early. Like, you jumped early. Would you agree with that was early? Like, come on. Our last photo of the week goes to Joseph Baldwin with this ultra fisheye skate photo. Very good. I want to see you build out this book. I can visualize how you're building out this book. I want you to honestly prioritize like non-skateboard techniques for your skateboard photography. Okay? I'm going to say that again. Non-skateboarding techniques for your skateboarding photography. Cool? That's what I want you to concentrate. Guys, those are your photos of the week. Let's get it on. Congratulations. Best in show? Best in show? Are there best in shows?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, see? Yeah. Are there best in shows? Yeah, see? Yeah, two. Two. Okay, best in show, because you asked. You're first. Best in show goes to, again, can you wait till I announce the name, please? Oh my God, I'm literally going to nix this bitch from my stream. Okay, first photo of the week goes to Joshua Haney. Joshua, that's best in show. Sorry, I said best photo of the week. I meant best in show. That's best in show. That's Joshua Haney. Joshua. And no Taylor. Taylor's not to be found. This chick is tripping. Taylor's tripping. Joshua, that is best in show. And one other best in show. Just one more. Ladies and gentlemen, your last and final best in show goes to... Yes or yes? Drunk bit. It goes to, yay, Jennifer Grace, best in show. Taylor, she's getting fired. Way to go. Taylor's totally hammered. She's fired. Jen, well done. Guys, you have a good time with me today? I hope so. Again, I'm just trying to have some fun. I was a little grumpy in the beginning because yes or yes? I have expectations of you that you've not yet caught up with the expectations that I have for you yourself. Sometimes that happens. Like my expectations for you are up here and your expectations for yourself, because maybe you don't see yourself as, maybe you don't look at yourself in high regard. Maybe you don't see your work as valuable. Like as you have a low regard for yourself, it's really impossible for other people to have a high regard for yourself. But when you see yourself in high regard, you try harder. You actually try harder because you realize that you're trying to do something. You're trying to reach this goal, this stratospheric level of making a living from taking photographs. You understand how easy it is to take photographs? I want you to think about this. It is so easy to take photographs. I can literally just go like this. Picture. There you go. Pretty easy. So how far are you going to take it? Like how hard are you going to make your picture making? Because if you make your picture making a little harder, and a little bit harder to execute, a little bit harder to imitate, a little bit harder to like craft, the harder that you try, the unimitatable your work becomes. I mean, for me, I can imitate anybody's work because I've been shooting for so long, but I don't want to, because I want people to be thinking about what I'm doing. And that's style. And integrity and character and the way that I see with the camera and taking a stand and all of that stuff comes over time. So Mr. Chris Turner says, see Turner photos. That line will always stick with me. Make photos, don't take photos. This has changed my entire mindset on photography, and thank you. And you're very welcome. And understand that is what we're trying to do, is I'm trying to change your entire mindset on photography. Guys, guess what? We're going to be doing some new strategies with our live streams versus when we release. Guess what? This podcast that you're watching right now, that you watched live and saw all this amazing content, I may premiere this at a different time this evening. I might have a different strategy. Now that we're doing members only streams, the people who aren't members, I really want to hype up this content for them. So I might premiere it in the evening, so people who aren't members can watch this and see it as if it's new. So we are doing some new strategies with the YouTube content here as we try to get our members up to 500. We are almost halfway there. If you're watching this content and you're finding it valuable, please consider becoming a member. I'm going to remind you again what your next assignment is. Oh, and also our after party. We do an after party, and Auto Lux Imagery. Auto Lux Imagery with the $5. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Donating your hard-earned dollars. I don't know why my thing isn't popping up today. So many things were broken from last stream that I didn't get a chance to fix. So, and D Rowe, thank you, Dan, for donating your hard-earned money. As you can see here, my lights are going crazy. As I get donations, my lights go crazy here. I appreciate it. But again, if you want these lights to change like this, you have to do a donation. It's all automated, but it's pretty cool. I programmed all that stuff. Thank you, D. Rowe. Thank you, Sean Thomas. Thank you, C. Turner, for all of your donations. And C. Turner, thanks for becoming a member. I didn't put smoke on today because my girl's in the office working with me, and I don't want to smoke her out. So no smoke today. But let me give you the brief. First of all, also, there is an after party. It happens after this podcast. We'll start up around 2:45 or so. But let me get into next week's assignment. Next week's assignment is a big one. It's called intelligent imitation. What I want you to do is find an image from one of your top favorite photographers within your niche, by the way. Make sure that this photographer is within your niche. And I want you to imitate that image with your own style. So look for an image that is beyond what you think that you can do. Look for an image that's beyond what you think you can do. And I want you to push your boundaries. Look for an image that's going to push your image. And also an image that is going to push your image. Look for an image that's going to push your boundaries, an image that you feel is beyond your skill level. This is not a copy exercise. This is not a copy exercise. I'll be looking to see if you translated your style, inserted your own nuance, and developed a deep understanding of the concept behind. If you understand the concept behind the image, the reason why behind an image, it becomes really easy for you to put your own spin and your own reason why an image. So what I want you to do is paste the web link to the original image that you're referencing in your description when you submit. I only need you to submit one photo, but I want you to submit the reference photo. Do not shoot something and then find a photo that matches what you just shot. Please don't do that. I will be able to tell immediately if you're doing that. Find a reference and then shoot the photo. The key to success in this assignment lies in understanding not just how to recreate an image, but how to translate the essence of the idea from that photo into your own creative vision. That's what we're trying to do. Here's some pro tips. Lighting considerations. I want you to study the original image's light, their direction, their light quality. Is it hard light? Is it soft light? I want you to analyze shadow placement, intensity. You see how often I analyze shadow placement. And I want you to note the difference. That's an artificially lit picture. This is a naturally lit picture. I want you to notice the difference between natural and artificial light and do the same thing. Compositionally, I want you to break down the original image's framing and perspective. Study the use of negative space, leading lines, head placement. Is it up on the top or is it way down here in the center of the frame? Study negative space, study leading lines, understand the relationship between the subject and the environment. See how the photographer is incorporating the subject with the environment. Are they using scale? And I'm judging you on the creative translation, how you're identifying key elements that make the original image powerful, and look for opportunities to add new hits to your personal style. Junior, welcome. Maintain the concept's integrity while also adding your own unique perspective. And rules and guidelines, always, as always, it is a 4,000 wide. You do 4,000 wide at 100 DPI. And I want a vertical picture. Vertical picture. Calligraphy, I'll give you the thumbnail in a second. And this is a vertical image. Guys, I'm going to be chilling in the after party. You guys can go hang out there whenever you want. For me, I will be in there sometime between 2:30 and 2:45. We hang in there for like an hour. I hang out there as long as I can. It is dope as F. I gotta promise you it's dope. But guess what? This stream, I think I am going to archive it. We're going to put this one on unlisted, and then we're going to premiere this stream tonight at 7 p.m. and see if I can catch some new viewers. Guys, I hope today brought you value. This has been Carty. This has been Portfolio Lab. I hope it brought you some value. Again, please consider being a member if you want to watch this content live, because it is definitely dope. If you want to have your photos reviewed, go to thecartymethod.com. and look for Portfolio Lab. You can also do /Portfolio Lab. Look for Portfolio Lab. That is how you sign up to have your photographs reviewed by me right now. And please make clips, share this content to your people. And understand this isn't about making selfies with iPhones. We are trying to make contemporary work that makes a difference. I love you guys. I hope today brought you value. We'll see you on the next one.
This commercial-free live stream was brought to you by the members of this channel. If it wasn't for you, we'd have to fill up these live streams with ads that would just interrupt the flow. The members of this channel make commercial-free content during these live streams possible. Consider becoming a member for $5 a month today to gain access to secret live streams, live chats, and to show your support with that crown badge next to your name. Sharing is caring. If this content has brought you value today, share it, clip it, post it to your socials. Curating and sharing helpful content makes you an expert, even if the content you're sharing isn't yours. Be a curator and share this content with your network. If you're an emerging or struggling photographer that's trying to break free from your current 9-to-5 grind and transition to the life of a working pro photographer, that's our obsession here at the Carty Method. Register, get the support you need. If you're alone and struggling at this craft, make sure you join the Carty Method community. You'll always find help in the show notes. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Find your creative and business genius with the Carty Method.
If you became a member recently, you're going to see your name scrolling across the top of the page because I love giving love to members. You see, you got a crown next to your name and everything. And if you've just discovered me and became a subscriber recently, you're going to see your name scrolling across the bottom of this page. I like to give love to everybody. I write them all by hand. I type out each one of these names. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. I will see you on Sunday. One love. Oh, by the way, go to thecartymethod.com. See all this new stuff I just dropped. Appreciate you.